So I have to do my EFL lineups during the show.
And we're live. Welcome, everybody, to the Swolecast here at RotoGrinders.com. We have a lot to talk about, a big 2-game slate. And we got some other stuff to talk about, lots of stuff to talk about. And unfortunately, our producer Sosa has a hard out. So this show is not going to be any longer than 58 minutes. But it's going to be action-packed, and you definitely want to stick around. It's a Swolecast on RotoGrinders.com.
Please don't dupe me, bro.
I'm begging you, don't dupe me, bro.
It's the poop narrative.
Kitchen's been waiting to say those words.
No.
For 5 years.
Welcome. Come on in. Everybody take a seat. Swolecast here on RotoGrinders.com. David Kitchen here. Alongside Davis Mattek, repping the Chiefs. We'll talk about that in a second. We've got Mr. Tyler 05, who, as you heard, is having to edit projections for ownership during the show. So can't wait to hear his excited, involved takes on the show. And then we have new dad, Peter Overzet. Pete, how's it going?
It's going good, Kitchen. My parents were just here for a week. They just left yesterday, and no better way to start my official work week with them gone than with the Swolecast, Dave. This is where I belong.
You definitely don't want them around whenever you're on the Swolecast.
My dad made like enough references to content I've done that I do worry he's checking in on more of my streams than I initially thought.
We can't have that.
It's dicey territory out there.
Yeah. I wonder like how much of the my Twitter that my mom looks at.
She looks at your Twitter.
Well, I don't know. Like sometimes, she has said something. I'm like, did you see that on Twitter? But she doesn't. She's not, showing her cards yet as far as that goes. So it'd be nice if mom did watch this show. She gave me a few likes on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, 4,137 views on your most recent tweet, dude. You're killing it out there. I hope she's putting in a group chat with her friends.
Davis, you might be the only one that looks at the engagement numbers on the new tweet stuff. Like I don't look at it at all, but you look at like the engagement stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Dave, it's literally my job. So yes, I do.
It's not your job at all.
It's basically my job.
Okay.
Shout out Pete's dad if you're watching, obviously.
Mr. Overzet.
That would be the question, because I think what he has is notifications turned on for my channel. So when I go live, he'll get it. The real question is, I don't know if he's deep enough down the rabbit hole to have notifications on for the Swolecast. I should let him know about the road to 10K, though. That'd be another soldier in our quest.
We got 4,800. So I saw yesterday we have exactly 4,800. We can get a few more. We have to hit 5K, and then it goes to 10K. So let's talk just a little bit. Davis, you're a grown man wearing a football jersey right now. Let's talk about.
And I'm doing a show with Brian right after this, so he's gonna have a chance to critique me wearing this jersey later.
Yeah. So how are you feeling this week? I mean, this is the big question as far as Mahomes, his ankle, boots on the ground takes. Do you have any company takes with Mr. Dr. Chow?
To be honest, I feel like the Chiefs are just free rolling at this point, right? So they win. Mahomes is gimpy. It becomes another chapter in the Mahomes is the GOAT, yada, yada. And if they lose, we just say, Jaguars dirty play. He got hurt. Nothing they could do. I feel like it's such a free roll spot.
You think it was a dirty play? Are you in the Warren Sharp kind of thing as far as the dirty play goes?
You don't want to be in the Warren Sharp thing, whatever that means these days.
I don't really.
Tweet was the best.
It probably wasn't dirty. Like, I don't think he was like, oh, I can't wait to to hurt this dude, but I mean, obviously you're rooting for a team and they get hurt, and you're like, you could Zapruder the film and be like, this man needs to be charged with assault with a deadly weapon. You know what I'm saying?
They got to get rid of that type of tackle, though. I mean, it's
dangerous.
That's what screwed Pollard up too.
Yeah.
Pollard and Debo, I think, as well. Like, I mean, but guys, you take that tackle away. You want them just to play flag football? Is that what we're doing? Because that's
flag football.
I knew
DFS,
the slippery slope argument was coming from Kitchen.
Flag football DFS sounds pretty great to me personally. Like, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, that was a comment section. I think Warren, like, whenever he put it out about like the dirty hit, he got so many people. Thank you, Phil. He made his 2 brothers subscribe. He got so many people responding to it that he was like, I'm going to double down on this. And so then he made like a highlight tape of all the people that were doing
Warren
it.
Sharp does give 0 shits. He's an engagement farmer.
I gotta say, he really does have the in terms of football, he is like the Picasso of engagement.
That's what I'm saying,
farming.
is that as soon as he saw all of the feedback, he just doubled down and started going, we need to outlaw these type of tackles, that sort of thing. He put together a highlight tape of all the tackles that had happened that had hurt people.
I like how engagement farming has basically taught non-comedians how to commit to the bit. You're like, oh, I'm getting all this. I'm just going to just swerve into the skid here and watch these engagements roll in.
It is funny. My daughters, they're having like Spirit Week this week at their school, where every day they dress up, there's a different theme, and there's like on Monday it was a meme day.
Wow.
And like meme day for kids, like kids don't know memes, and so it's like basically the parents
put them in there,
right? And
Lawden thinks great opportunity here. What meme do we think David dressed his eldest daughter up as? This is great stuff. Well, that's not really Lawden thinks. Okay, never mind.
I feel like you're playing Tuttle's version of Lawden.
Yeah, that's not a good Lawden. I'm gonna say, David, the idea he had was Homer Simpson backing up into the bushes, but he didn't want to go through the effort of building that costume. So
I could see Kitchen at a Hobby Lobby buying a bunch of like artificial green fern for that.
No,
you gotta remember this is like a private Christian school. So that plays.
Are there Christian memes? Is that a thing?
No, I don't know, but Homer Simpson's way too.
No, Homer Simpson would be fine. She actually dressed up as Britney Spears just because she had the costume. So yeah, I didn't want to go too far down into that.
Sounds like a dress code violation to me.
Yeah, sounds like
baggy shirt on her.
Shamed for that one.
So I was like, yeah, listen. But the second one, she just wanted to dress up as a farmer, and this is where I'm going with this story. Is that I was like, well, we need to look up some farmer memes to see if there's anything out there. So she was an
engagement farmer,
and it was the engagement farmer. It was like one of the
that is so good. That's
was one of the top memes. So there you go. She got to tell people that she was Pete Overzet.
I love it.
There you go.
Your daughter dressing up as her heroes during school.
All right, when are we gonna get into the hard stuff?
Well,
is DeMar Hamlin a clone?
Hang on, getting to the territory we're stepping over my Overzet overview jokes.
Sorry, Peter.
Let Pete cook.
So let's get into the Overzet overview right now.
I can never remember if I'm supposed to wait for an intro.
Yeah, I didn't know if we had anything either. That's why I'm sure Sosa.
Steven, will you pop on and just clarify that we don't have an intro video?
I think Rob gave up on those.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right.
Throwing someone else under the bus is peak Swolecast, by the way. Go ahead.
Oh, we do have
it's the Overzet overview. Yeah.
Some mood music.
For those of you who had your schedule thrown in disarray by the Swolecast being pushed back a half hour this week, you can thank David Kitchen for that. Kitchen has gone full prima donna after being named a top DFS player in the world by the artificial intelligence bot ChatGPT. Scholars have since responded by pushing back their target date for the singularity 1,000 years. Finalists for industry awards have been trickling out this past week, with the Swolecast nowhere to be found. It's hard to know whether it's because we are fully undeserving or if RotoGrinders is just too embarrassed to nominate us. Probably a little of column A and a little of column B. The big
that should be our goal next year. Get nominated.
That would have to mean Sosa would have to compile like clips to send.
Sorry, we're out. We're out.
Way too much work. The big news in the NFL world this week is whether DeMar Hamlin was really at the Bills game or not, with deep fake conspiracies and clone stuff being floated around. We've actually dealt with similar accusations at the Swolecast with Tuttle. Tuttle, can you say something that only the real Tuttle would say?
Let Pete cook.
We're gonna have to start making Tuttle do the Reddit AMA thing where he holds up a newspaper and writes his name there.
The today's date.
The conference championships are this weekend, and with the Cowboys eliminated and Mahomes on only one ankle, Davis is down to only a half team to root for.
Jalen Hurts.
It's true. I did want to give a shout out to Brock Purdy and the Brock Purdy Slappies last week. Brock Purdy's connection with Robbie Gould was undeniable in that game.
Pete's just mad I advanced Mahomes Purdy teams.
Oh, we could talk about what a fish move that was. And one final housekeeping note for today's show. Dave already mentioned it, but we do have a hard out at 3 p.m. Eastern because of producer Steven. Better Collective signed him up for a professional development class on screen sharing GIF. Dave, back to you.
Oh, thank you. Poor Sosa just taking strays left and right already.
That was high quality, Peter. That was good for a 2-game play.
I had honestly I had forgotten about the Chat GPT thing, but when you didn't even mention me in the highlight clip. Someone else had to.
Well, you normally tag people if you think it could further boost the video, and so you get the tag.
But your reaction was probably like the best sort of reaction I could hope for. Is y'all doing this live? Who are the best DFS players? And then these who's who OGs, and then it presents me on there. But it
literally must have crawled old DK Pro stuff, and you were the host of all those videos. Like you were hosting when Dink won $1 million. You were hosting when Miz won $1 million.
Who's to say? People forget at the start of Fantasy Insiders, we won back-to-back DFS Pro accuracy cups. Tuttle won it first.
Accuracy
I won it
matters.
second, and then Tuttle won it again. This is beating out all the other pros for this title. And so we had this tagline, accuracy matters. And there was one person who it just tilted to no
I wonder, Lawton thinks.
I know who it is.
No, I'm wondering, Peter, guess who the person that it tilted to the moon was?
Silva?
No,
but in the same
he works with
company.
them.
In the same company.
Wait, is Levitan?
No, Dinkmeyer hated it. It drove Dink up a freaking wall.
And so, he hated just the use of marketing. Also, a notorious hater of screenshots when they first came out as well. So,
and now he's doing he's doing threads about his best ball advancement rate.
Yeah.
So Dink has really come around on that one.
100%.
Let me give a quick shout out back to those days though, because we were cleaning my basement out of boxes that we're trying to get rid of stuff, and
got to make room for a 12th kid.
My wife asked me if I wanted to keep a book or not, and it was a parenting book that Drew Dinkmeyer's father sent me. He co-authored.
Papa Cub
was awesome.
Shout out Papa Cub.
We got to keep that book. I said it has an inscription in it, and it was a good memory back to Papa Dink.
I thought that was gonna go that you got like Fantasy Baseball for Dumb People by Jonathan Bales. I thought that's the direction that was gonna go.
No. Shout out to Dink.
Yeah, we are old now. I was telling the guys this before the show. Davis is now older than I was when Fantasy Insider started. and I handpicked Davis as the the heir to the proverbial tree. I don't even know. Like,
I think that's interesting. There are regrets on both sides of that,
Right.
probably.
no, but Davis, if I had never brought you on to FI, you wouldn't be where you are now.
Here
You
we
admit
go.
that.
probably would have gotten picked up by Drew and probably would be in a very
you would
different
not
place in
have.
my life.
You were
Davis, were
untouchable.
you writing at RotoViz pre or post Fantasy Insiders?
This was like concurrent.
Okay.
This was like overlapping.
Like they literally saw him with FI and his credentials. Like, yeah, you can write for us at RotoViz.
That is
But
not how that happened.
Davis,
Jonathan Bales and I used to be like email buddies, and we would aggregate projections. Like we would download all the projections in the industry and aggregate them via email, and that was how I got in with RotoViz.
But Davis was, I mean, he was a young pup at the time. So you might have a picture of Davis at the time. There is Davis right there.
Dude, I think I had that same Avs hat.
Who didn't? It was a classic.
I had that in the Avs starter jacket.
But he was so young, and now he's fake young. As we said, like he has taken the title. Like, what are you doing with your life, Davis?
Legit. I am fake young.
Like, what's the oldest thing you do right now?
I mean, I'm a full-on old man. I go to sleep early. I wake up at 5:30. I just am fully on a man obsessed with his own mortality now.
Davis is really like an 80-year-old man if an 80-year-old man was criminally online all the time.
Yes. Like to an absurd degree. Yeah.
I had a moment this week where I actually laughed at one of your previous overviews, Peter, when you said that Davis was something about the Huberman lab. But basically Davis tries to optimize his life and yet brags about drafting
109 teams.
Best ball team.
That's not a brag, dude. That's just being honest with my mental illness. Like it doesn't help me to hide that from anybody.
Yeah.
Did you, Davis? I went through some like legit withdrawals like this week of not having playoff.
I'm losing my mind.
I was like, I guess I'll just stare my daughter in the eye while I soothe her.
Welcome.
I am losing my mind. I've had to come up with because like I can't just sit and do cardio. I got to do something. Yeah. So I've transitioned now to riding the bike and reading because it's easier than doing the treadmill or the stairs to read or whatever. So I've now transitioned to being a bike riding guy for cardio.
But
which is horrible.
Peter, do you get now like how you can draft teams while holding your kid? And
for sure.
And also become addicted to Clash of Clans while you're holding your kid as well?
I will say, though, this is the one thing, though, like doing the 10-minute drafts with a kid is perfect because you can get away with anything for 10 minutes, but like a 45-minute, 18-round
Yeah, what
draft,
are you going to do, man?
That's going to – I can't be
Can
taking
you show us
picks.
your form of when you hold Rock the Baby?
Yeah, he did. He showed us like a week ago.
So the thing with April, she loves being upright. Like she does not like a cradle thing at all. So she's always like resting on my shoulder. So I do have can get the one arm around. My move is I just prop up the phone somewhere and then just, swipe around.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're going to be, dude, how are you going to get 150 teams in?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to stream them all.
Cause your kid is going to be like, yeah, I mean, by the time it's about to lock, your kid is going to be like moving, like crawling pretty aggressively.
That's when
I think I'm going to hope that Chat GPT can draft best ball teams optimally for us by that time.
I think by 2 off seasons from now, we'll be there.
I don't even think that's a joke. Yeah, I think
I'm not joking. I'm not joking at all. Yeah. I got one more off season of content in me, and then I'm going to go get an MBA and be done with all this shit.
All right. Sosa says that's where he's at with baby crawling. Good luck. Let's talk about people who do come to the show for the content, and obviously First Look Show, one of the only First Look shows. Yeah, thanks, Josh, as you guys talk about football. We are talking
Josh D with the ESPN Fantasy Football as his YouTube logo, accidentally clicking on the Swolecast. Bad day for Josh D.
So we just talked
if he ever wins a tournament, like ESPN's going to be so stoked for that kind of
No.
marketing boost. They're going to sell so many ESPN Plus subs with Josh Biggs.
It's like the rep the badge. For like we try to get everybody to rep the RG badge when they go to contests. We give them prizes. So maybe there's some sort of rep the badge for YouTube program. Who knows? But Josh D, we don't listen to these guys. We appreciate you. All right. As far as predictions for the game, just like starting out, how do you think these two games are going to go, Peter?
Davis isn't going to like to hear this, but I have strong takes that this is a Bengals-Eagles Super Bowl, and I feel very strongly about that.
I've already said it, man. It just like
isn't that like what most people are saying though right now?
Well, they're
I don't
both
think
favored.
so.
They are favored in the betting markets, so yes.
But you have kind of broken homers over here still trying to carry the water.
No, I mean, I've already explained it. It's a total free roll. It either there's another chapter to the Mahomes is the greatest athlete who ever lived, or he was hurt. What do you want?
I did say I used that exact same thing today on XM. I said it's a free roll. Like if he has a bad game, you just shrug your shoulder. He had a bum ankle against a really good team.
Yeah.
But the Bengals, if they go to the Super Bowl back-to-back times, I mean, that does start to really solidify themselves.
And then lose both of them, though? And then lose both of them, so Burrow's drawing to zero. Burrow, 0 MVPs, 0 Super Bowl trophies, and then we go.
That's
what
Bills.
You really won, Joe?
That's
what have you really
90s
won,
Bills territory right there. If that happened,
did the 90s Bills quarterback? What was his name? Kelly.
Jim Kelly. Gosh, I'm so old.
Didn't he? Did he ever win an MVP?
I'm sure he did.
One thing I will say is part of my early conviction was just high ankle sprain. There's just no way he's going to have any mobility. And
he's practicing today.
He's practicing. There was a clip of him walking off the podium, like no limp, no nothing. I was actually pretty impressed and maybe slightly changing my tune.
I mean, he couldn't move last week, and he averaged 0.28 EPA per play, which would have been number 1 in the NFL this season. So this is the issue, though. The issue is, and we've known this all year, the Chiefs are like actually not a good team. They have Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Chris Jones. The defensive line is okay, but by and large, like this is a team that, for example, if Joe Burrow had a high ankle sprain, you could say, well, the defense is pretty good. Well, Joe Mixon's pretty good. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, these guys, like his teammates could make a play and could be better. Like, you know, it could be a rising tide lifts all boats situation. That is simply not happening with the Chiefs. Like if Mahomes has a C- game, they're losing by 20.
Okay.
And
I disagree. I disagree on one point, and that is the Bengals offensive line is still suspect. Like if the Chiefs
didn't look that suspect last week.
Well, Davis, how good are you at rushing the passer in the snow? I know you never really played on the defensive line in high school, but like it's tough. It's tough to get like a good pass
Didn't
rush
Josh Allen get pressured a ton
in the snow? But I don't know. I was too focused on DeMar Hamlin and
Davis, saying you have a lot of experience rushing the quarterback in the snow from your playing days.
By the way, Jim Kelly won the USFL Most Valuable Player. He never won NFL MVP.
There you go.
USFL
Davis,
contest.
You're going to love
USFL this spring is going to be great.
Yeah. What would I love, Dave?
Look up Don Beebe and
I know him. I know him from
Chad Beebe.
I was going to say I know him from I think I know him from The Perfect Pass or Blood, Sweat and Tears, which is
Ed McCaffrey. You like Ed McCaffrey?
Yes. There was a chapter about him and the Broncos in Blood, Sweat and Tears.
His nephew's pretty good. So speaking of his nephew, let's talk about that Niners game.
Can we get Tuttle? I mean, come on, give us something. Give us something, buddy.
For those that are listening,
I was seeing how long.
For those that are listening, someone said, "Who is the guy in the Under Armour hat? Why is he on this show?"
I'm wondering the same thing. Christopher Donaldson. I'm wondering why I'm here as well.
Tuttle, give us your takes in between.
No, I got the chalk. I got the chalk takes that Pete said.
So does that mean that in these playoff contests, like in the 2-gamer on DraftKings, that Mahomes is going to be like 9% owned or something?
Why do you say that? There's only 4 quarterbacks available.
That's what I'm saying. That is
He'll be
9%
owned.
He'll be
like
low owned.
like it'll be Hurts, Burrow, and then will it be Purdy, Mahomes, or Mahomes, Purdy?
I think Mahomes.
He'll be Mahomes, Purdy. Yeah.
Damn. So Purdy is the jam then.
Haven't you jammed him enough, Davis?
It's hard to say.
So with the Niners, this bugged me, and a few dozen people might have seen my tweet. Whenever the Niners,
Doubtful.
being hopeful here. Whenever the Niners said that there was a chance that Jimmy G could come back and play, what good does that do?
I mean, I think that the 49ers are probably the only people on earth who are left being realistic about Brock Purdy and his abilities. It sounds like everyone else has completely lost their minds about what Brock Purdy is and what he could do. And they're like, yeah, Jimmy's probably better than him.
I don't know. I don't know what saying that before the Dallas game does. It really makes me wonder.
Maybe it's not true. Maybe Jimmy's agent wanted Schefter to tweet that.
I'm not saying that because Schefter has watched the show.
Well, I'm just like, that's how that stuff works is agent access impacts it.
I know, but that's kind of a hot button issue with Shefty. So I'm not saying that. Davis Mattek is, in case Schefter is listening to this later on. All right.
I got to say, he's probably giving the Swolecast Conference Championship preview a pass, I'm going to guess.
But you don't remember when I looped him in with Rap Sheet as far as news reporters not something about news reporters like not being accurate. And it was really Rap Sheet, but I said Shefty with Rap Sheet. And CSU messaged me and was like, hey, why'd you say that about Schefter?
Peter, so plugged in.
The mayor had to step in.
The mayor, always so plugged in.
I think I hurt Schefter's feelings. And he does follow me, by the way, on Twitter.
Do you know the mayor's so rich that he was out there auto-drafting Big Mitten teams?
Yes.
How much are Big Mitten teams?
250.
And just like one after the other?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Must be nice.
It really must be nice.
Pete, are you gonna have any teams live in the Mitten final?
Yeah, although I'm really light Philly, which scares the shit out of me.
See, I think I'm really light Kansas City. All my teams that are advancing look like Bengals teams, so it's kind of your classic Sophie's choice.
Yeah, I have tons of Bengals, Niners, and Chiefs Niners, but no Philly action.
I mean, Davis, you haven't really given your take on this NFC game.
I mean, I think 49ers almost lost to a Cowboys team that gave an F- performance. Like
I thought the Cowboys were going to come back and win that game.
I did. I kind of think everyone thought that. And it's like, if Dak could have just been Kirk Cousins in that game, like I think they would have won. I mean, and I'm not saying like, I'm not burying Dak. I think Dak's a good quarterback and it is what it is. Guys who aren't the greatest quarterbacks on earth have bad games, but the horseshoe that is firmly wedged up Brock Purdy's tuchus, it feels like it's starting to slip a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
He almost cost them before halftime.
Like George Kittle bailed his ass out, dude. That throw over the middle was so bad. That's it. Like you show that
sometimes
on
that's
film.
what you have to do. You got to give your guys a chance.
But I'm saying is I'm getting Folesian vibes of like every bounce is just going this dude's way, which maybe that never stops. You know what I'm saying?
Let Tuttle talk.
I'm not plugged in on Twitter.
Let him cut.
I'm not plugged in on Twitter as much as you guys, but my boomer self thinks there was some discussion. There had to be discussion about the Cowboys play. I don't even know who it was. It was Diggs not letting Kittle up there. Was it like turn soft, like the football's turned soft, where he was too afraid to get a personal foul?
I wonder if he thought he was going to drop the ball and didn't want to hit him as like a defenseless receiver without the ball. Because how would you assume he's going to catch that? It hit him in the helmet.
Dude he just whiffed him completely.
Yeah.
That game, the end of the game was so frustrating when Turpin had a wide open lane on the outside and just ran into the kicker. I was so frustrated. All of my live bets were so frustrated. And then at the end, my
David's
whole thing,
such a sports betting whale.
right? Right. So my whole thing, my mantra this offseason, like every Monday, is going to be I'm just going to take it easy, like Dalton Schultz in a 2-minute drill.
Dude, this was nuts. I mean, the Cowboys should have won that game, man.
Dalton Schultz, though, like not catching the ball.
Dalton Schultz on that last drive, that was like Gerald Everett levels of point taking. I mean, it was really
not
bad.
toe tapping. Like he made me really, really angry.
I played the 2-game slate, and I was counting my money after the first game because I just stacked. I stacked Dak. CD obviously put out, but I got the Gallup 0, and it didn't end very well. Schultz and CD were the only ones that did anything for Dallas. Pollard got injured. DB's in our Swolecast chat bragging about his $50K that he's gonna win.
Oh, we didn't talk about
Pollard
this.
DB in the spy, I saw him up there.
Well, no, Dan asked Davis a question. He really asked us all, but it was, do I keep San Francisco or no, do I keep Dallas D or switch to San Francisco? And Dave was like, oh, you got to keep Dallas D.
I answered the same. I want it known. I answered the same.
Everyone was aligned. Everyone was ready for the Purdy Turkey game.
He sucked out with the Pollard injury, so I don't even want to hear this cost.
I'm just saying, cost him $40K. It did cost him $40,000, that decision.
Something tells me DB is going to land on his feet with his next garage sale.
Just saying. We made Cal Spears $1 million. We just cost Dan Bach $40,000, so not great.
That's why the RotoGrinders Super Bowl party is now a cash bar.
Davis also not coming to the Super Bowl party now. I'm so upset.
Not coming. I know. What can you do?
I can admit publicly now that I'm upset because I was looking forward to it. I might have played it off like you were going to be a nuisance, but I was looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to come, but look, man, when you have the job you have, you got to work the days you got to work, bro. It is what it is.
It's tough scenes. All right, let's start building a lineup on DraftKings.com, shall we?
Oh my God, I can't wait, dude.
We got
another
24 minutes before Sosa
challenge.
We're getting to a number of games in a slate where Noah Gray might actually be playable.
Yeah, that first touchdown.
Davis is martingaling.
You're so good.
Noah Gray down slates, 12-game slate, 4-game slate, 2-game slate. Super Bowl showdown. Noah Gray.
I don't think I ever played Noah Gray on a full slate. I did play him in the 6 games, or no, I wouldn't have. So 4-game slate, that's fine.
I played him on the 2-gamer last week on FanDuel.
There we go. Tuttle's with me. Oh, I got a question for you before we build a lineup. I have a question for you guys. Let's say you're an anonymous Bengals defensive end. You're a rotational defensive end for the Cincinnati Bengals. Close your eyes, Peter. Rotational defensive end for the Cincinnati Bengals. You get like 15 pass rushing snaps a game. You go in 3rd and 14, first quarter, 0-0. Mahomes is looking pretty gimpy on that ankle. You get around Travis Kelce. Kelce does his dumb little block and release on you. You got a free path at Pat. You can tell he's probably going to get rid of the ball before you get there. Where are you aiming? Where's your body aiming?
Oh, was that not your torso? My bad.
I mean, just like think about it. It is clearly take the 15-yard penalty, whatever. If you are able to knock Mahomes out of the game, you basically guarantee yourself a second consecutive Super Bowl appearance.
Oh boy!
Like obviously,
Davis is into conspiracy theory mode already. That
this is not a conspiracy. I'm saying this is immoral, but I think I would probably do it if I was a Bengals player.
I thought this was going to the Eli Apple tweets. Is what I thought it was. I thought we were going down that path.
Oh, Eli Apple is going to have to eat the shit if they lose to the Bengals, buddy.
Dude, Diggs is going to come after him hard.
We need to remember this narrative for next year. Everyone mentally commit to the Eli Apple versus Stephon Diggs narrative.
What was the Eli Apple thing? Because I saw his name mentioned, but I didn't actually see.
He quote tweeted Stephon Diggs and said they were saying Cancun on 3 in the huddle.
and then Diggs said that he was just clout chasing was his reply back, which I love.
What do we do before
the
Twitter?
reply? It's the same thing. The replies are always the best, though. Just like people with it's the same with the TikTok comments. TikTok comments are always more funny than the actual videos. There were some good ones in there. They
I'm
had
worried about Tuttle's screen
Apple's
time.
PFF game, dude. TikTok's the future.
You know what's funny is that or not funny, depending on where you are. But Tuttle used to post some questionable images in the old FI chat. But the one thing he would hate, do you remember this, Davis? He would hate fight videos.
I don't remember that.
Like the Kimbo Slice backyard.
Like any sort, he's like, I can't
stuff.
do fight. And somehow
Lothy probably loved that stuff.
I'm into MMA now, though.
That's
the irony.
The Twitter algo has, now they've like the For You or whatever, and there's this account called Fight Haven, which I never have followed, but it's just all on my account, and I will watch almost every video that there is.
I don't like the cheap shots. I don't like the guys that just get knocked out on the cheap shots. The guys that go unconscious. I don't do that. Yeah. But I enjoy MMA. So.
So quarterbacks.
No, hang on. About the TikTok comment thing, to Tuttle's point, the other day I was scrolling and there was this video of someone making like shredded chicken in a crock pot that had 3 million videos. I was like, this has to be good. I watched the whole video. I'm like, oh yeah, that looks like a fine recipe or whatever. I go to the comments. There's literally hundreds of comments saying that he used a plastic bag as the liner for the crock pot instead of just using the crock pot itself and washing it out. And I literally think people commenting the same thing over and over is what vaulted that into everyone's thing. And that's what TikTok comments are. It's pointing out the one random thing in the video that people don't like.
And this is the interesting thing to me, because Davis has already showed how much he hates the For You page right on Twitter. But like as a content creator, that's what's going to get you more views. So I don't understand Davis's stance on it.
I don't want to see curated tweets. It's fine if all the plebes out there want curated content.
It's fine if they see my tweets and I get a tweet boost. But
no, here's the thing.
With Davis,
I think a For You page, I'm fine with a For You page existing. The way they do it on Instagram is perfect. You log on Instagram, you get your main feed, you get bored of that, you click on your For You page, right? 100% all good, no problem. But also curated tweets, dude, it's like the algorithm is just not quite there yet. You just are getting a lot of the Instagram algorithm is really good. The Twitter algorithm is clearly not there yet. You're getting a lot of shit.
You're getting the Soccer Dave is the best DFS player of tweet suggestions.
It's just and maybe someday it'll be better, but also I don't know. The Twitter app is so bad. It's just so buggy and shitty.
You just hate Elon too much.
You hate Elon, and it's just like, well, how can I dump on Elon?
Davis,
no one
Elon's living in a
likes
$50,000 house now. Elon's a man of the people, Davis. He's living in a tiny house.
I don't even know what that means.
Davis
legitimately is living in
I kind of agree. Don't you think, as a fellow checkmark holder, that we should have the ability to have like a default?
That's not what Elon does, dude. Elon wants to drain the swamp, dude. No more coastal elites getting their way.
Yeah.
It's just I'm so annoyed.
So we're going to Hurts AJ Brown on this team, I think.
Yeah. No. We're playing Devonta Smith.
See, Elon lives in this little $50,000 house when he's in Texas.
I can't do this. It's too annoying to me. I hate this dude so much.
Put a Tesla on the screen. It's just like
If Davis won Best Ball Mania 3, he would buy a Tesla.
No, I would not buy a car. Cars are a horrible investment.
Davis one time couldn't make a show because he had to leave and his windshield wipers wouldn't work, and he was going to his grandma's house an hour away.
That's not what happened. My timing belt got messed up.
Whatever.
I do remember what you're talking about.
Okay, so we're going Hurts and Devonta?
And Devonta Brown. Devonta Smith?
Why not play both? Maybe that was a sign.
That was a Freudian slip.
Yeah.
So Brown, Smith, Hurts. Okay.
Yes.
Those are all Davis's picks. So let's go with Peter. You're next.
Sure you don't want to keep going, Davis? You just want to fill out the whole goddamn lineup?
We only have 18 minutes, so.
That's a good time filling air today. Good job.
So we want to play this game like as a shootout. Let's bring it. It feels like we're due for an Ayuk game. Every week the Niners have one hero emerge. 2 weeks ago Debo, last week Kittle. This is the Ayuk week.
Okay. Running back Tuttle.
I like this angle, Peter.
I'm going to go Bengals D.
I like it.
Wow. Outside the box thinking. I like it.
Whatever, dude. It's a free roll for Mahomes. You can jam Bengals D. I don't give a shit.
All right, can I interest anyone in a 44%?
No, it's Tuttle. It's Tuttle's pick. Please, Davis. You're about to go.
He just picked the Bengals.
You didn't pick Davis.
That can't be your pick.
You want to correlate it with a running back, Tuttle, while you're at it?
Yeah, but pick the right one. No, pick the right one. Wrong one.
No, if we're going Bengals defense, then it's got to be Mixon.
Dude, P-Rod played 44% of the snaps last week.
I think you could play both on this slate.
Love it.
Okay, so are you going Mixon?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't love it. I'm anti-Mixon.
Tight end, we need a little bit of exposure in the other games. So I'm going to go with Hayden Hurst.
I don't know if triple stacking the Bengals without Burrow is going to work.
No, it was my thing. Is like, I thought for sure Kitchen was going to say Kelsey, like the greatest tight end of all time. One game, 2 tight ends, and he just rips it. Hayden Hurst.
Hey, Hayden Hurst lost his freaking mind last week, dude. 6 for 59 and a touchdown. What a stud.
Best ball advancement king, Hayden Hurst.
All right, so we got an average of 6,400 left for a running back and a flex. Peter?
I mean, we got to. Actually, I don't know if we can. Well, we could jam McCaffrey if we're willing to punt it. Let's jam McCaffrey.
Is Miles Sanders the forgotten guy this week?
Miles Sanders sucks.
Yeah.
Pricing wise, I don't think he'll be. I think we'll probably get like the people will overplay Gainwell a little bit.
How hard are the slappies going to play Kadarius Toney this week? He was 15% in the 4-game millionaire maker last week. How hard are the slappies playing him after 5 targets last week?
They're still jamming. I mean, because the price is still he's still what? He's only 3,700. That's the thing. Like I understand. So nothing's changed on him, right? And people were expecting it, and that's kind of been the case. But
well,
I mean, you get a touch on 50% of your snaps, and it's okay with me.
I mean, I think probably this might be a situation where it's like, what are we saving you for? You know, where it's like we got to win this game. I don't know if we could be playing, Justin Watson and these empty calorie guys in this game as much. I think you could see Toney get to like what he played. In the regular season in the Jaguars, he played 44% of their snaps. So I could see something more like that this week.
Okay, so we have one last spot. So are we going with Goddard or?
Yeah, I think you can either onslaught Eagles with Goddard or bring Juju back.
Why don't we get unique and save some salary and play P. Ryan and Mixon?
P. Ryan and Mixon.
We're just playing. We're playing this as the Chiefs get totally blown out at home.
The live a little narrative
story.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm collecting receipts on everybody.
You're taking the stance that you can't lose. You're doing the free roll. You're doing the top version of Mahomes free roll.
Correct.
Yeah, I think that's right. So we have 2 comments here. Even though he kind of bashed me a little bit earlier, this is the correct comment from Christopher Donaldson. 80% of the teams will go double TE this week, same as last week. So I think that's a good lineup construction point to make. I think it's probably the optimal way to build lineups on DraftKings this week. But if you're trying to get different in tournaments, that's a pretty easy way to differentiate, is just to lower your double tight end exposure. And then Ryan here, I'm not going to pronounce his name. I think this is also the correct take with Toney. He's probably going to get more short looks if Mahomes is truly limited.
Can we take a stab at the last name, Tuttle? Take a stab at it just for fun.
Stamatse is how I would
I think that
pronounce
sounds
it.
great. Yeah.
Can Hardman come back, dude? Can we get Hardman on whatever recovery program Mahomes is in?
I think he was
Get
back
him
in practice.
this
Did
week?
I see people saying that in the chat?
I mean, if he is, that's unironically getting McCall Hardman is the second best offensive player behind Travis Kelce on the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what his role would be because I think he almost completely squashes Tony then.
No.
said,
I'm telling you, dude, it's MBS.
No, you've been wrong. No, they have shown no desire at all this year to either play Hardman or Tony in the
Scantling the last 2 weeks in must-win games as his 2 lowest snap shares of the year. They are sick of this dude.
I say this
touchdown last week, baby.
This is when Andy Reid should unleash Sky Moore as a punt returner. Get him going.
If Sky Moore fumbles a punt in this game, I will leave this earth, dude. I cannot have it.
So you guys are kind of getting into my terrible take territory, but $1 million player this week, Travion Williams.
Demir Bird.
Wow, Tuttle. This is a Galbrain take if I've ever heard one. Holy shit.
I can't even
go on. Speak on that.
Okay. You got multiple routes to get there, especially if you're playing. Especially
you have
if you're
zero
playing
routes to get. David,
multiple routes.
What are you talking about?
You have about 2 snaps to get there.
You gotta have an injury or like a big blowout. He could suck out. And then you've got if you play the Bengals defense, who's returning kicks? For the Bengals?
It's like David. Come on, man.
Who's returning kicks for the Bengals?
This is a serious fantasy football.
Dude, the last time he had a carry, Dave, was on December 11th.
Exactly. You guys are proving my
point.
He's
calling the double dip here.
All the normies. It's a double dip. It's the
so
double dip.
With 6 points, do you think he outscores Kadarius Toney enough percentage of the time to get in the optimal?
It's about what you win when you win, Davis.
I don't think 6 points from him wins you anything.
You're not going to win very often.
Maybe if he goes full Nyheim Hines and gets 12, you could win something.
What happened in that Dallas game last week? Who was that one running back that got hurt?
Okay, and how did Malik Davis do? How did Malik Davis do in that?
But he got opportunities. That's all you can ask for is an opportunity.
He got zero carries, 0 targets.
No, he definitely got a carry at least.
I'm looking at the box score. He recorded 0 statistics.
It looks. Do you know what? This is hilarious. Why Kitchen knows Travion Williams? Biggest game of the year was against Tennessee. It's been seared into Kitchen's mind. Those 5.2 fantasy points.
I know Travion Williams. I drafted him on my best ball teams.
Oh my gosh, what is this?
I'm giving.
That's the thing. So
it's a 2-game slate. David. You have to get weird,
David. If you wanted to make a dusty running back tout, might I suggest Jordan Mason, who does at least have a carry in the playoffs?
And you hope Elijah Mitchell's banged up.
This is the 2-game version of Live a Little. You guys are doing the same thing that you did to me
this is living
last offseason. You got
here's the thing. Crane won $2 million without living a little, so I'm not trying to. I'm trying to
save you a few bucks, David.
Kitchen, put this in. I want you to register for the spy and send us all a screenshot of Travion Williams in your lineup.
I wouldn't register for the spy. This is $1 million lineup. You got to get a little weird. You got to live a little. You have to envision scenarios, and I just gave you 2 scenarios where this could happen.
I just think if you play this with some skin in the game, I'll allow it. But I think you're being a disingenuous tout right now.
Disingenuous for sure.
It's
what Davis says. He returns the kick for a touch or a punt for a touchdown, whatever. He gets 6 points. Yay.
Was Nyheim Hines in the optimal? Was Nyheim Hines in the optimal the week he had 2 kick return touchdowns?
No. Was that a 2-game slate, Davis?
Well, I'm sure there was a 2-game slate that he would have been eligible.
Well, I'm sure he was in the optimal then.
I mean, I don't know.
This is the interesting discussion, and Davis already kind of did it. What is the absolute ugliest you would get
at running back?
Just on the slate in general, in any position. What's the absolute? It'd probably be Noah Gray for me. Going back to my
Yeah, I think you can do like
or
the Justin
Zach
Watson,
Pascal.
Jawan Jennings, Quez Watkins stuff for sure.
Yeah, I think Jennings would be a wide receiver 3 or wide receiver 4.
Zach Pascal played 24 snaps last week.
Once you're down into Ray McLeod territory, that's where I think you have to find
McLeod is a better play than Travion because at least he's fast.
Everyone's a better play than Travion.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if you're taking,
you guys are just proving my point of why he's a $1 million play.
Purdy doesn't even have Travion Williams projected right now. Granted, I don't know if he's even gone through and done.
You can't project him for any points. You can't.
What's Trent Taylor's salary?
Trenton Irwin is
3K.
Trent Taylor is he even on? Is he even active anymore?
Yeah, hasn't he been returning some kicks? He's
been returning the punts.
Yeah.
Do you even watch tape anymore, Davis?
So, David, your take is like the Galaxy Brain. I would allow your take for the Galaxy Brain Super Bowl trying to solo ship the
games is too much.
Super Bowl showdown.
Yeah,
because it's not going to get you there.
You're either sending us screenshots of you putting your hard-earned money on this guy, or you walk back the take right now. It's one or the other.
I'm going to put him and I'm not going to put him in the SPY or single entry. I'm going to put him in one of these tournaments that there's a ton of entries. Either the Millie Maker,
the cheapest one I can do,
or the $3.
He's gonna lock button Travion in the dime time. Okay,
I can't do the dime time. I cannot do the dime time or the nickel or whatever the quarter arcade is.
The play action.
You know what
you can do?
I think DraftKings. We should do a petition to allow. Based on some of Kitchen's takes these days, he should be allowed to play the dime time.
I already think that there should be a rotating clock.
Yeah, it should be rolling. Yeah.
It should
like if you go 3 years without a 1099, you're allowed back in the sub $5
in the
$1.
Let me back in the $1 and $2.
Well, it does make me jealous how much people were farming in crowns the past few years by just doing the dime times.
That the gravy train has stopped to a degree, but right now you're just having like total the depths to which we have to go to farm crowns, man. It's like I'm having.
See, I never did it. That's why it wasn't a thing for me.
Well, even the rewards, the mission rewards, it was like insulting because they would give me a 25-cent ticket to something I could not use, and then I would have like 8 25-cent tickets, and I have to email and be like, I can't use this. Can you give me $2 instead? And they
will. The tier credit stuff is really messing with our game. But
no, I'm loving it because I didn't grind it. I could easily hit Onyx without it.
Do you remember this? Tuttle, do you remember the steps? Do they still have? They don't have that anymore, do they?
No. Because I don't think. Do you know anyone who played those? Step 1,
you go step 1,
step
2,
really.
And then you get a ticket in step 3 and step 4, and then the steps. I would play it.
So that's similar to
David,
what the.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah,
I played steps all the time, David.
When's the last time you played a DFS slate?
This was back in the day when steps were a thing. Listen.
I know, but I'm saying you wouldn't play them now, David.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't play it now.
Okay.
barely playing the whatever the $3 is.
The dime time, the play action.
Well, the issue here is that so the other issue here is that DraftKings, so you can't play under 3 if you've hit a certain goal, right? But the tournament, the cheapest one they'll offer is the $3, but you can only 20 max it.
Yeah.
So then you get into real.
You and I share the same frustrations. Even worse on FanDuel, where at least on DraftKings they don't show you the contests that you can't enter. On FanDuel, you have to filter those out.
On FanDuel, they don't show you any contests because you can't get into the site.
on FanDuel, they just filter them out. You have to filter them out rather.
Hey, at least they 98% of the time will run a $5 GPP. The other 2% is when they just void the contest, but they'll at least run a affordable $5 one that you can spew on a little bit. You can play Noah Gray in it like I did last week.
Nice.
Perfect.
I like it. All right. Well, I think we've talked enough about the players and the positions.
Yeah, totally.
I want to know some scale of 1 to 10, how prepared someone is that comes in here on the first look show and they leave the show. Like, I want to know, like, if we gave them a quiz, could they pass it?
They don't have any idea, man. They got nothing.
I think we did the one helpful thing that I think is going to be correct. I think we correctly
Travion.
ordered the ownership projections for the quarterbacks. I do think that was actionable.
Yeah.
I will say though, looking back at it, that might not be right just because of pricing. You could see Purdy
The
jump
one thing
Mahomes.
we had one job.
I tried
You could see Purdy.
Look,
jump
if Mahomes is going to be the least owned quarterback on a 2-game slate, I might just have no chance. I might just simply have to go all in. Yeah, I just might have to.
Always the hard on this might be the running for least fantasy football content of an end season. End season is like that's a relative term.
We're using in season lightly.
Yes, we got 2 games.
Perfect. Tennis TV gifts. That's why they
this
pay
a DeMar
Sosa.
Hamlin throwback with the heart.
So.
Oh,
I don't know. I saw Sosa like at 3 a.m. in the morning. Say if I knew Tommy Paul was a Mets fan, I would have bet on him. So,
dude, I love Sosa tilts on Twitter, and I love it.
You know who he reminds me of?
Steve.
Yeah.
Steve tilting NFTs is quite the change in tilt.
Tilt for Sosa.
Yeah, pray for Kevin Rose, everyone. Some people stole his photos today.
I think the way to kind of support Kevin Rose is to sweep the Moonbirds floor and really kind of support our community.
When was the Moonbirds thing? It seems like a lifetime ago.
It was right at the beginning of the bear market where people should have known
it was
better.
last spring. Yeah.
Spring. Yeah.
Sosa has a heart out, guys. Let's respect it.
Yes.
Let's respect the heart out.
We're
Play in the
like,
playing kitchen.
the plane was, hey, Pete, you sure you don't want to sell it for 40,000? And you scoffed at me and said, you think it's 40,000 now? It's gonna be 400,000
Hey, kitchen.
in a week.
Are you sure you want to sell all those bored apes for a couple $100?
I'll always own a bored ape.
Dookie Dash
says local man.
Yeah, you're the guy I want to take, buy and sell advice from kitchen. How's our NFT box doing that we joined?
Got some Garland momes for you. All right, final takes.
Hey,
Tuttle,
you can sell them all on
who's
Floaty now, though.
Yeah.
Doodles on Floaty to the moon.
It's not even Web 3.0. It's Web 2.5.
Look, NFTs were always for virgins, but imagine how much they're for virgins now.
Hey, Tuttle, who's your terrible take?
I have a terrible take on this slate.
Is
AJ
it
Brown.
Noah Gray?
AJ Brown bounced back for 150 and 2. That's my
That is
take.
not a terrible take.
Yeah,
That's a good take.
Nice take. Sounds
He's
like
an
a nice
alpha.
take.
All right, final thoughts, Davis. Hurry.
Sky Moore scores an NFL touchdown in the conference championship.
All right, there you go. Peter?
You don't have to play Travion Williams this week because you'll be able to play him in the Super Bowl Showdown contest.
There you go. There you
Fuck
go.
off, Peter.
That'll do it. Special thanks to Sosa for managing the show, for guiding the ship. You can direct all comments to him. And then I guess we'll see you in 2 weeks for the Super Bowl show here on the Swolecast from RotoGrinders.com. Peace.